Hey all, this is Grandson Alex, filling in for Bill once again. Happy Sunday. And we want to thank our affiliate viewers of the Auto News Network, and we thank them for their support. And here's the view into Lake Michigan from Holland State Park. A bit cloudy, but a cool picture nonetheless. As for Bill, he's over in Victoria in British Columbia, on the island that's almost at Washington. Victoria is the capital city of British Columbia, and you can take a car ferry from Vancouver, which, according to what Michelle saw on Google Maps, it takes 3 hours and 20 minutes. Vancouver Island has 864,000 people, and the city of Victoria is 100,000. Named after Queen Victoria, as one probably guessed, and it was British settled since 1843. And as for the weather there, it's partly cloudy, high of 64, low 57 over in Vancouver. And here is Bill at the Bouchard Gardens, over 100 years in bloom. Over at some, what looks like a geyser, which looks cool. Over by a bunch of flowers, as one would guess by gardens. He and Gail eating what looks like breakfast up at a hotel. Nice view from the window there. And a photo of a meal they had. The phone eats first, as Michelle says. For the headlines today, we have scattered thunderstorms possible on Monday, alongside hot and humid weather, and a lot of mostly and partly sunny and cloudy coming up. For today's forecast, we have a high of 91 and a low of 67, partly cloudy, and then goes to mostly clear tonight. High of 91, low of 67, with 65% humidity and winds to the west at 6 miles an hour. And going into the 5-day forecast, Sunday will be a high of 92 and a low of 68, partly sunny. On Monday, scattered storms, high of 88, low of 63. Tuesday, back to partly sunny, with once again, high of 88 and a low of 63. Then on Wednesday, it's a high of 81 and a low of 55. So things seem to be getting more temperate as the week goes on, which is nice. For the daily high temperatures, it's mid-8, so 83 in Sault Ste. Marie. The temperatures go up as you go west on the UP. 86 Mackinac, 89 Traverse City, 84 Holland, 81 Muskegon, 89 Grand Rapids, and 90 Detroit. A lot warmer as you get inland, as you can see. And first, we want to thank our sponsor, Ace Handyman Services.
When your home needs help, you might not know where to start. Why not ask Ace? We're always here to help with Ace Handyman Services. Our talented craftsmen handle everything from drywall and carpentry to doors and kitchens. We're the neighbors you trust to get the job done right. Let's get started. Book your handyman appointment today. Ace Handyman Services, bringing helpful to your home.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
We want to thank them again for the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. Michigan, the Midwest, and Northeast below average temperatures, which should be nice. And the Gulf of Mexico in the west will be above. Interesting contrast there. And for the 8 to 14-day precipitation outlook, eastern Michigan will be a bit below average, but much of the rest of Michigan, the Midwest, will be near normal. Above average rainfall in the Sun Belt and Pacific Northwest. And as for events, we have the Coast Guard Festival today, a classic car show with a pancake breakfast, community picnic, and flea market. We support our Coast Guard, a big necessity in our Great Lakes. For a quiz for today on July 27, 1940, this gray and white cartoon rabbit made its debut. Voiced by Mel Blanc, his signature catchphrase was, "What's up, Doc?" The cartoon character starred in Looney Tunes and more than 160 other short films. That is Bugs Bunny. Famous among many generations and for good reason. On July 27, 2012, the Summer Olympics opened in this city. It was the first time in history the U.S. was represented by more women than men. And the U.S. won 105 medals, and here's Bill in the host city. Well, working backwards, what became the 21 Summer Olympics was in Tokyo. 2016, I want to say, was in Rio de Janeiro. And Beijing was 2008, and that leaves London for 2012. Interesting stuff. The Korean War armistice was signed, which, as a technicality, the wars went on for like 70 years, but it did end fighting and established the Korean Demilitarized Zone, and the current borders for which North and South Korea stand to this day. July 27, 1919, the city of Detroit 3 boat depicted to the right traveled from Detroit to Mackinac Island. There were 650 people on board with Board of Commerce members. Golfer Walter Hagen was on board, the winner of the 1914 U.S. Open. And he did play golf in Mackinac Island, but alas, the scores did not survive. 1925, the 100 years ago was the first Greyhound bus service. Greyhound was founded 11 years before in 1914 and started with transporting miners. It was called the Motor Transit Corporation briefly, but changed to Greyhound to give it more style. 17.2 million passengers a year, and it's the largest intercity bus system in the US. On this day 100 years ago, July 27, 1980, an earthquake hit southern Michigan, a fairly big one, all things considered, a 5.1 magnitude. And it was felt as far away as Allegan and Coldwater, where vehicles were rocked, dishes broken, drinks spilling. Could be worse, but again, Michigan's not quite on any of the fault lines, so an earthquake of this side is extraordinarily rare already. July 27, Scotch Day. Made in Scotland, and thus it's Scotch. Melted barley or other grain, and it's to be aged at least 3 years. The earliest record in history is 1494, like 2 years after Columbus hit Hispaniola. Wow. In 2024, the U.S. imported $1.2 billion in scotch. Wow. This is the only U.S. president to have been both the president and the Chief Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court. He was Chief Justice from 1921 to 1930, 9 years after his presidency ended. Well, there is one president whose presidency ended in 1913. That would be William Howard Taft. Taft is also the largest president, weighing in at 335 to 340 pounds during his presidency, and was 6'2". A very sizable man he was. And what U.S. presidents have served non-consecutive terms? Well, until recently there's one, but that changed as the last one. It's now Grover Cleveland and now Donald Trump. Grover Cleveland winning 1884, losing 1888, and winning once again in 1892. And Donald Trump winning 2016, losing 2020, and then winning once again in 2024. And 6 U.S. presidents have been named James, those being Madison, Monroe, Polk, Buchanan, Garfield, and Carter being mainly nicknamed as Jimmy. And more nature photography from John Doherty. This is the Rosa multiflora, also known as the baby rose or seven sisters rose. Cool shot from him. And here's a photo of John Scully out on a lake. Looks like some either milkweed or a cattail, but neat photos from both. Many thanks to John Scully and John Doherty to their contributions over the course of the show. And you too can be featured. You can send your photos to bill@billsteffen.com if you want to be on the show. And that's the show for you all. Bill doesn't have too much left, and you should be about a few episodes away from him coming back. But yeah, subscribe if you want. If you like our stuff, it helps us a lot, and it's free. And thanks again. Enjoy the weather out there and stay cool.